Hi everyone, my name is Laura Pike and I'm from Aberdeen. I hope you're all well, safe and well at this time. I'm a financial advisor and I work for Alan Rutherford Wealth Management in Aberdeen. And this is part of a much bigger organisation called St James's Place. What I do is I look after people around their finances. So when it comes to maybe saving and budgeting, you should all know what saving is maybe, or even buying your first home, or even saving for going to university, preparing for retirement, protecting family. I'm there to help people make a plan for life so that when it comes to the other end of their life, so maybe when they're retiring, they've got enough money to spend, maybe when they're not working, but also along the way, making sure that their family are protected completely. And when I say protected, things like income protection, life insurance, critical illness, all these things that you might have heard about, but you don't really know about yet. That's what I do. So I kind of teach people how to do that. I wasn't always a financial advisor. I actually, after I left school, I trained as a music teacher. So as soon as I left school, I trained as a music teacher for 4 years in Aberdeen, and I worked for a while as a teacher before I decided that I mean, this is something I always wanted to do, but I always wanted to be an actress. So I went for an actor. I went down to London and I trained in London Mount View Theatre Academy of Performing Arts. I trained there as an actor, and I worked there for 5 to 6 years in London, and then I moved up to Edinburgh, and I did some work in Edinburgh Fringe. Now, when I was an actor, it was mainly singing and dancing that I wanted to do, but I did actually end up with quite a lot of TV work. Probably you would know or heard of any of the TV programs. Maybe ask mum or grandma and granda if they know Hamish Macbeth, or you might have heard of Casualty. So I did work in TV for a while. When I moved up to Edinburgh, though, after being in London, I decided that I was going to go back to teaching full time. And I worked for quite a while, 6, 7 years in Edinburgh as a teacher. And then eventually I moved back to Aberdeen and worked as the director of music in a private school in Aberdeen. And I loved that job because I was teaching children from nursery right the way up to 6 year at school. And then I decided that I wanted to do something completely different. I felt I'd gone as far as I wanted to go in my teaching job. And I thought, right, I'm going to do something that's quite different, but at the same time, I can maybe use my skills as a teacher and as an actor, as an advisor. Now, you might think, well, they're quite different. To be honest, what I'm finding is the more that I'm doing my job as a financial advisor, all I'm doing really is teaching people not about music anymore, but about their finances and how to manage their money. Now, thinking about all the different skills that I think I've used over these years, as far as communication, I would say communication has been really, really important in all the jobs that I've done. So if we think about as a teacher, I've had to communicate to the children exactly the teaching and the courses that I have to offer. Acting is slightly different because acting is it's about being the right person, about communicating to maybe the casting director that you're the right person for the job, and about communicating maybe a story if it's a script or a song that you're kind of communicating to people. As far as an advisor, communication is really, really important so that people understand, because finance is not necessarily the most kind of understandable subject. And I can probably imagine that a lot of you are thinking, well, I don't really know what she means. And I completely understand that. Creativity, I've had to be kind of very creative in the way that I sell myself as a person, because when we look at teaching, I've got to be able to be creative in obviously the courses that I was putting together to teach people like you. So in music and drama, I want to be able for you to be interested about music and drama in lots of different ways, but the way that I put together my courses has got to be quite creative so that all of you get something really exciting out of it. Interpersonal skills, it's about being able to get along and being able to speak together. And that kind of moves on to teamwork, because teamwork is really integral for you. And you'll have noticed in primary the amount of teamwork and team building skills that you'll have worked together, and you will continue to do that as you go on into high school. And so it's about working together and being able to kind of listen, which is really important as a team, as well as negotiate. All right, so being able to maybe work around people, but also to really get your points forward and listen, and not to necessarily, if you've got something to say it the right way, but get your point across. Leadership. Well, as far as leadership, especially in my director of music role, I really had a lot of leadership in leading a team, because leadership, I had to look after 18 other teachers who taught piano and singing and violin and all of these things. And I really had to lead that team and bring them on together. As far as the job that I'm doing now, I'm in charge of one or two people that kind of look after my social media. So I've got to kind of manage the kind of stuff that I want out on social media, which is very much a new thing for me, an oldie like me, because I want people to get really engaged and excited about finance when it could actually be seen as quite a boring subject, which is not. It can be quite exciting. Employability is something that's always throughout my life been really, really important to me. And this is something that you really should think about, is the fact that everybody has a skill that makes them employable in some way. And it's really important to think about what you're good at. And I don't mean about what makes people excited. I mean, you could be good at being quiet, because being quiet isn't a bad thing. Being quiet could actually be a really good thing, especially as part of a team. Not everybody has to be singing and dancing, to be honest, because maybe the quiet one is the one that sits and is the worker and thinks about things really, really analytically. So it could be really helpful to that person that's kind of outgoing, a bit like me. All right. So employability is about looking about all those things that you're really good at and that you enjoy, because that's really important. You don't want to do something for the rest of your life that you don't really enjoy. Self-management, it's about looking after you and being able to look at things like creating time management for yourself and being able to manage the work that you do. So if it's things like homework, which is maybe something you're going to have to kind of manage over the next, I don't know how long, I'm not going to say, but it's about being able to let it be manageable so that you're not kind of immersed in it, but at the same time, look after yourself, make sure that you get enough sleep, make sure that you give yourself time to enjoy life with mum and dad and your siblings, and also work hard. Okay, so it's a bit about good time management and about looking after yourselves. Thinking is something that you should think about all the time, whether you're thinking about what I'm saying or how long I'm going on, about what you're learning, thinking about how you feel about things, and also thinking it's sometimes important not to think and being able to kind of switch off, whether you do that through going to dancing classes or playing football. But there is a time in the day that you do sometimes not need to think. So make yourself work hard, make yourself just different and try out everything. But bottom line is enjoy life and make yourself happy. All right. So I hope this is helpful for you today, and enjoy the year. Good luck with the year ahead. Bye bye for now.